Okay, so there's something that I want us to create inside of Photoshop. This is going to be a very simple flyer, a nice flyer. But before I get into the video, I just want to introduce you to the vault. For some of you that have been following me for quite some time, you know that I've talked about having, I've talked about this idea where we can, or where I can create a platform where people can pay monthly and access my template. So I've created that, and I'm calling it the Church Design Templates Vault. So this one you pay monthly. Is different from my other platforms and my other stores where you pay for a template. So I've got three prices. So there's the one for $10, for $27, and for $47. Now this doesn't change what you can access. The only difference actually it's the months. Okay, so if you pay $10, you're gonna be paying $10 per month, and then have the access to the library or the collection of my templates. If you pay $27, you're paying like 3 months upfront. $45 is like 6 months up front. And what I do is that in that vault I upload templates every single week. Okay, so if you are someone that is interested in having in getting access to my vault, the link is going to be provided in the description of this video below. If you're watching this on YouTube and above, if you're watching this on Facebook, my name is Prince. In case this is the first time you're hearing the sound of my voice, I'm a graphic designer that works with ministries and ministers of the gospel around the world. So if you're a pastor, you're an evangelist, you're a man of God, a woman of God that wants some graphics, posters, flyers, stickers, banners, you can get in touch with me. My contact or my contacts are going to be in the description of this video. And for those that are interested in learning how to use Photoshop, I also do offer courses for those that wants to learn how to use Photoshop, or those that wants to learn how to design church flyers inside of Photoshop. And I also offer courses for those that wants to learn how I design church flyers inside of Photoshop. So those are like three different courses, yeah. And in case you are someone that is interested in my resources, like my templates, you can get into the vault. $10 per month gives you access every day, every month, every week. This vault keeps on growing. Okay, so you have yourself a lot of stuff. So let's get started. I want to create something very simple in my own explanation. Yeah, so something very simple, and I'll be going with this. I've talked about the courses. This is what I keep on mentioning most of the time. So I'm not going to be explaining a lot of things because there are courses that you can get in that. So I want to use a lot of shapes. I'm going to use a lot of shapes. So this is also a bundle that is going to be. Now remember that I've mentioned the vault does not mean you can no longer buy my single template. So the same templates that I create, they will be available everywhere. For those that just feel, hey, I don't want to be inside the vault, you can continue buying. You can buy on Creative Market. You can buy on all my platforms. I'm not canceling that. And by the way, this vault is not going to be here forever. Okay, I'm just going to do this for a certain period of time, and I'm going to, have to stop it. I'm being just honest on that one. We'll see. Okay, let's say we'll see. So I have these images that I've selected to use in this project, and I'm going to be using the image you're seeing here as my main photo, right? I've done something like this already, and I love how it came out, and I just feel, let me share the process. Now I know it's not going to look exactly the way the way it is on those that are following me on Instagram. I think you have already seen this. It's already posted something like this. So yeah, so let's get started. I'm going to be using this shape. Okay, so what I want to do here is just kind of turn this maybe like this, and then create another maybe like so, maybe So, you know, sometimes, yeah, this is something that I've understood. When we make videos such as these ones, right? Sometimes you have to understand that it's not about, sometimes maybe it's not about really learning something. Sometimes it's just about being inspired or finding an idea for your next project. So it's not always that we do this so that people can learn. It's not most of you here by now, you already know how to use Photoshop, you know how to design, so sometimes we do this just to, it's not everyone that is a beginner. No, sometimes this is just a way of just giving you an idea of what you can create next, stuff like that. So maybe I can bring this here. Let me just cover the last part. Okay, so it's not always that, hey, 1 2 3 4 5 6, is it 3? I think we might have to repeat some images because I don't want to open my browser. You guys will end up seeing what you're not supposed to see. Okay, so we have our shapes. So the idea here is that we just want to fill the shapes with those images and then see if we can find some nice words to incorporate. Okay, so this doesn't have to be perfect, by the way. So I'm gonna start with that one, and then we're gonna bring in this image. Okay, let me just, okay, there was something on my screen. Okay, so let's just make sure that this image looks nice, and then we can just kind of place it inside of here like so. Okay, just make sure that when you are doing this, your image full everywhere. So we can just get the same image and bring it up here and then lock it inside here. Okay, so we can maybe have both of these and just move them like so, and then maybe just take it because I want it to look that the other side, which is awesome. So let's get another image, maybe this one, and then bring it here and then just lock it. And like so. Bring this in here. Now this one is gonna look, maybe for this one we just leave it like so. Awesome. I'm gonna get another one. Okay, but maybe this one we can try to merge it with the second one. I don't know. Maybe like this. Okay, then we have this one. can put my women here, my ladies here, my mothers here. It's not really fitting the way I want it. Maybe because they were too close to the camera, so maybe that's why. So but this one will fit well because they were a bit far. So we're gonna have to oh, this is what we got. No, I don't want this one. I want this one. Then we duplicate it, bring it in here. Like so. So these ones are just, you know, this is just a kind of backup. So what we're gonna do is just group them like so, and then now I'm gonna move into changing the color. I want to have this kind of red here, and then change this to linear. No. Multiply. This looks good. You know, if you follow me, right, you're gonna understand something about me. I always advise and encourage people to try out things, okay? Try out things. That's what designing is all about. Even, you know, even in even when we teach, or when I teach, right, it's about, then the rest of these ones I'm gonna put it maybe black and white. So what happened? So I always, even when I'm teaching, right, I'm just gonna show you, especially the class where I'm teaching how I design. I'll tell you, listen, what I'm showing you is just the steps that I take to achieve A, B, C, D, right? From there, you have to put it into practice. You have to go right. You have now known what I do. Then you ask yourself a question. Okay, Prince said I should move left 20 steps to the left. What happens if I move 30 steps? This is a computer. We are using computers. Any mistake you make, you can easily undo it. You get? That's how you learn. Okay, he told me, this is what I encourage people. He told me to move 10 steps to the left. Let me now move 30 steps to the left, to the right. What happens here if I do this? That's how people learn. Okay? That's how people learn. Okay. I think I'm just remaining with this one, black and white. Good. I love this already. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go back into our folder and get our image and bring it in here. Okay, so remember, like I said, this is something that I've already designed and I liked how it came out, and I thought of, let me just share this with you guys. so that you can learn one or two things. Then we bring in him. So these types of designs, I love them because they're kind of neutral per se. You know what I mean is you can use this. You'll see what I mean in a second. Let me just move in and add some words maybe. So we have him here. Let's duplicate the image and try to see if we can change. We can have it in black and white, and let's see how it's going to look. Oh, no, my phone. Sorry about that. Let me just drop the volume here. So with this, I just want to move. Now, this is what I'm talking about here, okay? So let's say I'm teaching you what I do, right? And I say, hey, I use this plugin to change my image into black and white. And I just use this slide here to change how my image is going to look like. Then let's say I show you that, okay, I drag it to the right, maybe up to this percent. When you are now practicing on your own, you now get this and bring it back here and say, oh, this is what it does. Okay, let me leave it here. What happens if I drop the contrast? I add. This is how you learn. This is how you don't just start doing everything. Now remember, when you're working on a project, the image that you're going to be using has got its own size and its own dimension. That's the reason why you cannot use the same settings on different canvases. I don't know if that English is Englishing. You know, if I show you something while I'm working on this type of dimension or these dimensions, right? And then tomorrow you work with different dimensions, you need to find the settings that are going to suit or work on that different canvas or that different document or that different dimension canvas you get. So please, you don't just get stuck on what we show you or what I show you. You start practicing, you start moving things. So let me just move this up to here. Learn one or two things from this video. Yeah? Tell me this is not nice. Tell me this is not nice. So what I can do here, what I'm going to do here is just say, I'm going to do exactly what I did with this. So I said midweek. And then I'm going to move in and use a font called Delight. I'm going to make sure that I go with white. Then I bring this here and then space the letter up to this much. So then I'm going to bring this here, but I want to make sure that it aligns perfectly with this. Okay. I'm going to duplicate it and say service. I'm going to make sure this is big. Okay, it's already. Okay, so let's move this. And then I just want to have the image on top so that I can hide, I can put this behind. Okay, so I can duplicate this and say Wednesday. For this one, I might want to try out something smaller and put it in here, but this is not what I did with the original one that I did. Okay, so we have this. Maybe I move a bit. Too many messages. Yeah, maybe up to that, right? And then move the image maybe. Oh no, let me leave it the way it is, but let me try to see if I can just duplicate the backgrounds, make them, merge them, and then turn this into a smart object so that I can only have one. Then move this maybe up to here like so. Then move him a bit back. I think I wanted this to be completely out like so. That's what I want. No. This is one thing that I don't like about. Let me do this. Awesome. Or maybe I just leave it the way it was. Then graphics. Let me just see if I can leave it the way it was. For other information, I don't know which one I can use. Maybe let me use the virtual. The woman with yeah, I think I'll just use this information for the venue. Okay, so just make it like so, simple and nice, you know. So we can try, maybe maybe there's someone who's saying, can we try to bend the text? So we can try, you know, when you're working with a client, this is what you need to do. Let me tell you how to kill time when it comes to working with a client. Sometimes you are not given a briefing, a brief about what you're going to do, right? So you start thinking, maybe this one doesn't make sense. Can I do this? Maybe this doesn't make sense. Can I do this? What you need to do is work with something, the design idea that you are comfortable with. Okay? Work with the idea that you are comfortable with. Then when you are done, you can now try and do the one that you think, because you'll be going back and forth, you know, between what you think is going to make sense and what you know is going to make sense versus what you think is going to make sense from like your client's perspective. So 5 p.m. what else can we add? Let's just say 7 p.m. Okay, so we can bring this in here, 7 p.m. and then maybe we can have the date, or we can just say Sunday, oh not Sunday, it's Wednesday, sorry. We can say Wednesday 17th AUG 2026, and then we can move on to make this a bit smaller, bring it here like so, and then we can, what else can we add? I don't understand why this ended up looking like that. Okay, so we have all of these. Okay. I don't know what I can write. You. Okay, let's say you are Okay, let's just look for the word invited, right? Let's do invited, and then let's look for, remember what I said, if you follow me, I said scripted fonts, they work well when the first letter is capital and then the rest, they become, or the first letter of every word in the sentence is capital letter. So they work very well. Okay, don't try to do everything scripted. You're using a script font and then everything is in capital letters or in small letters. It doesn't really look nice. So these are the basic knowledge that you need to, this is the basic knowledge that you need to have. Such kind of knowledge, you need to have them. Does it make sense? Okay, let me try to find you. Have you seen? That's what I mean. If you do it, you keep the capital and then maybe we can have this one now in normal letters. You know, I don't know if it, you see, it's from the person. That's why there was a time in my group I was talking about the eyes or the eye of a graphic designer, you know. So it depends again who is looking at what you're doing. So I don't know if I'm destroying this now or it's slowly marking French. So let's move into our social icons. Our social media icons, we can bring this here as well. So remember, I haven't colored this. I haven't colored this, it's just me trying to just design, and the approach to this also depends. Some people, sometimes even me, there are times that I'll start with first doing the colors, and then that's when I start putting everything. Sometimes I just do design first, and then once I'm done, that's when I'm doing the colors, the balancing and stuff. Okay, so what am I doing? What am I doing? What am I doing? Is this making sense? I don't know what I'm doing. What am I doing? So, okay, what else can we add here? I think we don't have his name. I think we don't have his name, right? And the name of the venue. So let me just move this whole pack here. I also move my color. Let me see if I can balance this up in here. Nah. No. Do it. Okay. So let me just see if I can get, because I don't want to open my folder seriously. So let me see if I can just get the color and see if we can work out something. So guys, I think I'm done here. Now, remember what I keep on telling you. There are people that pay for me to teach them how I color grade. So I can't do that here. I'm sorry. If you can learn that somewhere else, no problem. But I can't do it on the screen because there are people that do pay for that. You know, I teach people, and it would be kind of unfair that what other people are paying for in the background, then I'm just teaching it in public. But you're gonna see the end of this flyer on my social media. Also, I'm gonna put the link in the description. So follow me on Instagram, especially. I'm saying Instagram and Pinterest because I've lost interest in Facebook the moment I lost my page. I'm paying more attention on Pinterest and Instagram. So follow me on those platforms. I'm sure you're gonna see the end result. Or if you won't see this one, you see the one that I made. Yeah. And then the template itself, it's gonna be available in the vote. So pay that $10 and get into that vote. I'm gonna be adding this template or the original one. Now I might add, let me just say this, you might see the original one, okay? And then inside, you're also going to find this one. I'm saying this because I've used this image, so I can't put fake details here. It might not make sense, so I might leave the original one. Yeah, but you're going to find this. So it means two templates, you're going to find them in one. There will be about, because every template now, like I told you, it comes in the square size and the normal portrait one to just give you you know, those options. My name is Prince. My contact's in the description of this video in case you want me to work on a project or you just want me to be your mentor or your tutor. I also teach how to make money as a graphic designer, so you might also want to get in touch. From me, it's shalom. Get in touch, and please do comment, like this video, and if you find it insightful, kindly share with a friend, with a family member. Let them know about me and about this channel. Shalom.